Good evening. The time is now 6 o'clock, and I am calling this regular meeting of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to order. And Ms. Marshall, will you do our invocation? And then David, can you do the pledge, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this opportunity to come and serve the city of Freeport. God, we ask that you would be with us in this meeting. Help us to do your will. Help us to be productive and to bring economic growth to our city, Lord. We just ask that you would continue to be with our leadership team, and we thank you for our newest member. And we just ask that you would just bless this city. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Thank you, David. That moves us to citizen comments, and seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda. And first under that consent agenda is to approve the meeting minutes for May 14th.
I have a correction. On page 11, third paragraph, this was dealing with the Main Street motion. You have that it passed unanimously. I recused myself from that vote. Okay.
Are there any corrections, other corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion we approve them with the correction.
Oh, we gotta wait till we do our financials. But we'll go ahead and move on to our financials.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
The sales tax that was received in May of 2024 was actually for March of 2024. The EDC received $112,048, which is a decrease compared to the same month last year. Currently, the EDC has received $7,009 more in sales tax when compared to the same time period last year. As of May 30th, revenues were under expenditures by $4,017 in the EDC fund. The fund balance is $1,829,209. Your projects funds has a fund balance of $1,186,456. The marketing fund has a fund balance of $155,540. And then in the TERS fund, the fund balance is $489,299.
Do you all have any questions for Ms. Ezel?
Yes, I do. Ms. Ezel, I know it's probably on the report, so I apologize for asking this question, but what is our project balance?
Your project in the EDC project fund, $1,186,456.
I mean, that's what we have available as of today?
That's as your fund balance as of today, yes.
Okay.
As of May 31st.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Ezel? All right. Thank you. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I make that motion.
All right, we have a motion to present or to approve our consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Ronnie. And all those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion passed unanimously. That moves us to our discussion and action items, and number one under there is our to discuss and review the UTSA project status.
Hi,
Good
good
evening.
evening. Anna Silbus, Main Street Coordinator, just to provide an update here regarding the UTSA project. On June 4th, the Freeport Main Street Design Subcommittee did meet to hear a presentation by the UTSA Center for Urban and Regional Planning Research and Post Oak Preservation Solutions. The meeting attendees included the Main Street Coordinator, our Vice Chair Irene Ocañas, the Design Subcommittee members Betty Lopez and Melanie Oldham, Robert Johnson representing the Freeport Economic Development Corporation, and Wade Dillon, our museum manager. Additionally, the Post Oak Preservation Solution representative, Ellis Mumford Russell and Megan McDonald, did provide an overview of the proposed historic district and design guidelines. Additionally, the UTSA Center for Urban and Regional Planning Research Director, Ian Kane, did provide an overview on proposed public improvements related to Memorial Park and our downtown streetscape. So some of the key takeaways from this presentation did include looking at the possibility of establishing a Freeport Historical Commission that is distinct from the Main Street Advisory Board. Second, establishing a local historic district. Third, adopting historic design guidelines. As far as the public realm initiatives, we did look at several options related to Memorial Park, the streetscapes at Park Avenue, West 2nd Street, West Broad Street, and West 4th Street, and looking at how we would connect this all to the waterfront site that is the north end cap of our downtown district. So our Economic Vitality Subcommittee meeting will be meeting on June 20th for a virtual presentation on economics by Ian Kane and Tom Tunstall, who is the research director for UTSA's Institute for Economic Development. So I did forward that invitation to Robert, and I did ask him to extend the invitation to Josh as well, being the president of the EDC. And just as a final reminder, our final community visioning session will be held on July 18th at the Freeport River Place, and the session will take place from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that is all I have as of now.
Thank you, Anna. Are there any questions for Ms. Silvas? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and move on to number 2. Discuss and take possible action to terminate the economic development agreement with Quest Trust dated June 20th, 2023 for failure to complete the performance agreements as required under Article 3, Section A.
Yes, Mr. President. Kevin Mutai from Quest Trust came to us and we approved this contract on June 20th, 2023. The grant award was $29,250. He, if you recall, became ill soon thereafter, never did anything with the project, and has subsequently sold the property. The contract can be terminated under Article 3, Section A, which is calls to complete improvements and also to open a business in 6 months. What I'd ask the board to do is vote to terminate the performance agreement, and then we can send them a legal letter that just basically says the contract is terminated.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and entertain, if anyone would like to make the motion to terminate our agreement with Quest Trust, because we already made a new agreement with the new owner, correct? Okay.
I make a motion to terminate the contract with Quest for the, is that how you want to word it? Is that okay? On terminating the Quest contract?
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second it.
All right, seconded by David. Any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Moving on to number 3, discuss and review 208 West Park demolition and possible issues.
Yes, Mr. President, the 208 West Park demolition is complete. However, it's complete, but there was a issue with White's Cafe next door. The building was condemned by the city, and they may have to demolish the building, and so that would impact that wall that's still up. But they do not know what they're gonna do right now. I met with them, Mr. McDonald, who owns White's Cafe, and James Turberville, who's looking at demolishing that building. They don't know what they're gonna do right now. I would like to say emphatically that the EDC had nothing to do with that building being condemned or for it to be demolished. I know there was some talk about that, and I know David wanted to say something about that.
Right, I know of 5 people that approached me and asked me, why did we have that building condemned? And I told them we had nothing to do with it. That's a code office thing, but somebody's out there passing around that we created that issue and had that building condemned.
Oh, okay.
So it's important that the public know that that's not the case.
Okay. And was that all for this?
Yes, no
Okay,
action.
just to kind of clarify that
Yes.
us demolishing 208 didn't really have an impact, didn't at all have an impact on White's Cafe.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to number 4, discuss the EPA Brownfield Grant Award.
Okay, I was ready to tell this last month, but I can officially announce it now. The city has been awarded the EPA Brownfields Grant. The EPA Brownfields Grant is a grant that identifies properties to see if they are environmentally contaminated or not. The grant's primary focus is to serve as a redevelopment tool for the city. The purpose of this grant is to revitalize communities in need. And again, the grant is designed to be a redevelopment tool to help remove environmental complications from sites that may be developed in the future. The grant award amount is $500,000. City staff working on the grant are Lance and Anna Silvas, Ashley Ferguson, and Kathy Ezel. The next step in the process is completing paperwork that needs to be completed for the grant by July 1st. Then we will put out an RFP for grant management. We're currently, as you know, using Terracon, who were the ones that helped us secure the grant and write the grant application in the first place. And they're interested in continuing to represent us, but that'll go out for bid. Grant funds will be released on October 1st, at which time we will begin a community involvement plan. We will also do a site inventory and a quality assurance plan. The sites for potential development that were identified in our original application, these are the 2 sites that we identified for development, is priority site number 1, commonly referred to as the Walker Royal site, is located at 100 East Brazos Boulevard. The Walker Royal site is a 5.66 acre tract adjacent to City Hall, the old City Hall, and the Brazos River. The site is walkable to Freeport's historic downtown, and this informs both our Gensler plan and the downtown plan that Anna was just talking about. Priority site number 2 is the abandoned rail site. It's an 11-acre tract adjacent in the south to the historic downtown area and 3 blocks south of the Walker Royal site. Together, the 2 priority sites bookend the historic downtown area. This site currently contains abandoned railroad tracks, a former building slab, and abandoned trailers. The site could expand our downtown area and could be used for new development. And again, as it calls for in these minutes, expanding the downtown to that site. So this does go right into what the University of Texas at San Antonio is working on.
Well, thank you, and that's really good news. So thanks for everyone who worked on that and helped get it through. And so they will, if I'm understanding correctly, are they providing funding for us to go and
Yes, they're providing funding so that we can look at sites
Yeah.
and determine whether they're hazardous sites, whether they're not clean,
Okay.
and we can build
Clean it up,
upon them, to develop them, or whether they need to be cleaned, the sites do. So that's what the grant does. It does not provide money for the actual cleaning of the site or remediation of the site, but it does put you first in line for grant funding that can do remediation
I
and
see.
cleaning work.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions about this grant? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to number 5. Under discussion and action items, discuss the business development breakfast date and event information.
Okay. The long-awaited business development breakfast is here. We've been talking about this as part of our business retention and recruitment plan. What we're planning is a breakfast for our area businesses to come in and enjoy breakfast, and then our inaugural business development breakfast will feature Jennifer Finney and our old friend Casey Roman from the Small Business Development Center. What they'll discuss is programs that the SBDC has that can help our small businesses. One of the categories in our business development and grant is writing a business plan, and sometimes our businesses, to say the least, are deficient in that area. Those are important for when you're getting a loan at the bank and just planning your business in general. The event will be held at Ann's Party Place on July 11th, 2024, unless anybody has problems with that date. Now, one word about Ann's Party Place, that's the old Ann's monogramming. We wanted to choose that because it's a new business. My fear is that we're going to have a huge crowd and there won't be enough people, but I think we'll be okay at that place.
Okay.
But if there's anybody that disagrees, let me know and we can change it.
So you mean, you think it may not be big enough? Is that?
If hundreds of people show up, which would be, of course, great, there wouldn't be, but I think it holds about 65, and so I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
The other issue, Robert, is, as you know, is parking.
Right.
It's very minimal as far as automobiles. Probably, I'm just guessing, 12. Ronnie, what, you agree? Maybe?
And you got the back you can go to.
Yeah.
And what was the time again that it's starting?
Have we just,
I don't see it.
8 o'clock,
Okay.
8 to 10.
That's a Thursday. Were there any other questions or comments about this breakfast?
So how would this go out, like how would this be marketed or like put out to who's going to attend?
That flyer is just a draft right now because it doesn't have a lot of our information on it. We'll be posting it on Facebook, and then we're trying to decide if we need to go to each individual business because some may not be on Facebook to kind of get this information out. That plan is still kind of being formulated.
And in the office, we have a business listing, so we'd be using that to send stuff out. We're just looking at different ways to market it, but I think social media will be a very powerful tool to market this event.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other questions or comments, we'll go ahead and go down to number 6, discuss Skinner Street property for zoning concerns.
Okay, Mr. President, I had a company called, I believe you pronounce it Redo or Redux. They're a battery energy storage development company. I can openly mention them because, well, you'll see in a minute. They're a battery energy storage development company, and they were contemplating installing a utility scale battery storage system at the property that we own on Skinner Street, which is in your packet. It's past the Realty World buildings down that street a ways, past that church on the right. And we own that property, but the thing that I found out was that the property is zoned for mobile homes, and it's spot zoning right now, so the property is surrounded by residential zoning. Because it's a mobile home, like I said, it's spot zoning, and if it were to change to anything, it could only change to residential. So I bring this up to the board's attention because I just want us to know that we have a property that we can only use for residential, or it can only be used for residential. I talked to our legal counsel. What we can do is market it as a residential property. That would be okay to do. As you know, an EDC can't do residential. So we could market it as residential, we could sell it, or we could turn it into something like a park. I'm not asking for the board to make any decisions tonight. I just wanted the board to be aware of that. That was a surprise to me, and I don't know if this has ever come up before. Maybe, David, I don't know if you can shed some light on that.
The last time I heard anything on the property itself was a gentleman was trying to put a couple of mobile homes out there, and the city council at the time shot him down and told him no. And a certain councilman was behind it because this land borders the urban renewal land. And they say Mr. Wong wants that piece of property for an exit from that property. That's just what I've heard about it, and that's why they shot it down, or he shot it down in particular, because he didn't want to sell it to anybody else.
Right.
So, but he's no longer on this board, so we can do whatever we want to do with it.
Again, I appreciate that, David. I just want to bring to the board's attention this matter that we've got that piece of property that we cannot use for any kind of commercial endeavor.
There's no way we can get it rezoned for something other than residential?
From my discussions, we cannot.
Okay.
With Shelby, we cannot.
Right. Okay.
If we got it rezoned, it would have to go to residential.
Okay. Well, thank you for informing us, and I'm sure we'll see this again. Were there any other comments or questions about that? All right, well, that takes us to executive session. It is now 6:23 p.m., and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session.
Josh.
In compliance.
I may interrupt you. Can we
Oh, no,
do
go
the board comments?
Oh, yeah, sorry, my fault, I skipped over it. You
'Cause
want to start us off?
Yeah, I have one. Okay, it's kind of long, and y'all bear with me. Good evening to all present. I'm excited to be back after an extended absence. For those that don't know, I attended the CPA, which is the Citizens Police Academy, hosted by Chief Howell, and put on by the officers and support staff of the Freeport Police Department. Tuesday evenings were one of two classes weekly for 3 months, and I didn't want to miss a class, so that's why I was missing our meetings. And I just want to let y'all know, and the knowledge gained from the class was invaluable to me, and so for me it was worthwhile. I do thank y'all for your patience and want y'all to know that I'm back to full participation for this board. The driving force behind my decision to go ahead and re-up for this board comes from my belief that we are just a few short steps from unprecedented progress as far as our EDC goes. We're that close. Creating the potential for long sought after growth and positive results that will come from taking the lead and spurring ourselves forward. For many years, the good folks on past boards fell short of intended results caused by doubt, indecision, whatever it was. Just things never quite panned out. I truly believe that this board, with the people we have right now, has what it takes to break that cycle of not getting it done. A couple of questions or statements, as it will. Will there be hard decisions to make that some people won't like? Yes, there was going to be. Will there be naysayers and negative Nellies that don't have all the facts? Yes, there will be. Is this the board that overcomes all the hurdles that will be put before us? And can we succeed? If we answer all these questions yes, then let's get busy and do it.
Thank you, David. Ms. Marshall, do you have any comments?
Sure. Just wanted to give a couple of thank yous. Number one, to the concerned citizens of Freeport. This group will typically go and visit our local restaurants maybe once a quarter. And I think that it's a good thing that they go out and support our local economy. So I just wanted to thank them for doing that. It brings business and sales tax revenue to our city, and it also promotes our businesses. So thank you to that group. Also, I wanted to thank everyone who came out to our event for the boardwalk. Ginsler did an amazing job of facilitating this event. It was good feedback and great table discussion. So I'm really excited about the project, and I'm hoping that it will continue moving forward, full speed ahead. Just want to thank Mr. Johnson and his team for pulling everything together. I think that's all I have for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Ronnie?
I just want to thank the city council for putting me back on the board. I know I was here just a couple of months to fill in, but I think I actually have something to offer, it being a small business owner who deals with a lot of the stuff that we're being hit with. And I do agree. I think I've been frustrated in Freeport for years. I've lived here for 8, and it's like we never seem to get there. We're close, but we never get there. And I want to change the perception, because people will come into my store and they ask where I live, and I tell them Freeport, and they go, really? And it's like, really? It's not as bad as you think it is. You need to give it a try. So that's why I'm here. I think we can actually make something happen fairly quick. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Ken?
I know, Jerry, you will appreciate this, using a baseball analogy. Robert, you have gone from first base trying to steal second base. You not only did that, you wound up at third base. You have, you've taken the reins here, buddy, and I can see, I know you were a little skittish at first to the area and being here, but you've done a great job. And Rachel, thank you for what you've done so far. I hear good things about you, and that's good, and we appreciate it. So, but
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Ms. Loisa?
Just a reminder, I think we won't have a meeting before then, but we do have the Fishing Fiesta, July the 4th through the 7th, I believe, is the Fishing Fiesta. So it'd be nice if we can all attend that. Plus, it's my birthday, so everybody needs to go. And then it's exciting to see that churches opened. I just passed through there coming over here, and the parking lot was already packed and people sitting in there and eating. So it was great to see that. It was a long time coming to get that up and going again at churches. And then other, like, just agree also, your director's report had a lot of information on there. Thank you, Robert. That really is helpful to get that information to see what's going on. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Loisa. Just a few quick things. Yeah, David, I definitely agree. All the questions or answers to your questions can definitely be a yes. And you're right, we are very, very close to actually getting something done, which hasn't been done in quite a long time. And like Ronnie stated, I grew up in Freeport, and by the time I came along, Freeport was already pretty close to how it is. And my mom and all of her siblings grew up in Freeport, and they remember whenever Freeport was not like this. And so it was very encouraging at the community session, right, to see all the people that were there, hear their concerns and watch them interact with the people that designed the plans, and really gain an understanding for what they were trying to do. And then the people that designed the plans gaining understanding of what the community is seeking to have. So that was a really great experience, and thank you all for making that happen. And thank you, Ms. Marshall, for just always being here and always giving like your 100%. And then this board, like all of us, I believe, have different qualities that can be used at this moment to help make that progress that David mentioned possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. First off, I'd like to congratulate to reappointments the board members, Ronnie, David, and Ken. I've worked with each of you and talked to David just today. I mean, what he just displayed with his institutional knowledge. Ronnie's instrumental right now in helping me with the Four Corners parking lot matter before that comes back to the board. Ken's always in the office talking. It's a pleasure to work with everybody. Just a couple quick things. The Gensler plan, as you know, we had our community engagement session. The next steps, I talked to Jonathan Mitchell. They've taken the input that they received. Thank you for everybody for going too. They've taken the input that they received from the community back with them, and where appropriate, they're making changes to the plan. The intent is for them to come and address the board next month with those changes. I'm not 100% sure with everything that they're gonna do and change, but we'll be able to comment on it at that point. We also have been keeping Walker Royal in the loop. Fortunately, we've been able to have a few teleconferences with him and looking at his property, which could be instrumental in connecting the downtown with the Gensler plan. So that's going really well. The park plan, first off, I'd like to thank Lance. He's been a great partner through this whole endeavor. I think phase one, we've accomplished it, and that equipment is going up, so that's really exciting, and now we can go on to phase two. We received a $50,000 check yesterday from our generous contributor, Phillips 66. The EDC also generously contributed to this project, and the equipment is going up, correct?
It's shipped out today, so June 17th they'll start installing it.
Okay, June 17th they'll start installing the equipment. It's shipped out. And then, as you know, phase two, what we're contemplating right now, we're going to get the renderings updated, and what we're contemplating is looking at walking tracks, fencing, and ADA compliant playground equipment. Ronnie just gave me an application for Lions Club for a grant for that, so I'm going to review that and look at filling that out. And also, we've got a couple of corporate citizens that are still interested in donating. Their kind of mission is, hey, we want to do accessibility, or we want to do exercising, and so the components that we have in the park project for phase two kind of match what they donate to. So we're hoping to get some more donations from generous corporate citizens. Just quickly, we had a few grants completed. Rhombus Inc., which is our friend Rashawn downtown, got the mega grant, if you recall. He's turned in his receipts and has been paid. Mi Pueblito finished the first phase of theirs. They still have the second phase. And Mist Lounge, the one that we had to keep granting an extension, they've gotten that fire equipment in, and they're up and rocking and rolling. We've also had 3 inquiries this past week and the week before about the business improvement grant, so that program is running well. About the TERS, I spoke to Travis James at TXP about some of the history of the TERS. One of the things that I had noticed was there was a project plan was very, very broad, to say the least, and he said that was done intentionally so it would give the city leeway in how to spend TERS funds. I also talked to him just about a few procedural things like our reporting process. He said we are reporting correctly, so that was good. We've arranged a call for Friday that both Shonda and David are going to sit in. It is with Mr. James. The call will be free. He said that if he needs to do further consulting, like come down here, there would be a fee that we could take out of TERS funds. But Friday, we're gonna have a call with him at 11 o'clock a.m. So we'll keep you posted on that. I know that's a TERS issue, but since most of the TERS board is here, I just wanted to update you on that. And once again, welcome to our reappointed board members.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for executive session. It is 6:36, and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.087, economic and community development matters, and Section 551.074, personnel matters.